Hi everyone, it's Christina from the DIYmummy.com, and today I want to show you how to make a really beautiful and full French country inspired summer wreath. This video is a collaboration with Hilary of Old World Home. If you haven't checked out her channel and subscribed, definitely go over there. She has, first of all, just such a beautiful heart. She has so many fantastic decorating ideas, homemaking ideas. They're renovating a beautiful new house, and you definitely have to go over to her channel and subscribe. Both of us are doing a May flowers themed DIY or decor idea today. So after you've watched my video, make sure to pop on over to Hilary's channel and watch her flower themed video as well. So this DIY wreath I want to make today for my home for summer is definitely French country inspired. So lots of floral elements, lots of really nice pastel colors, and some really romantic greenery. This wreath is super cheap. I just used materials that I had on hand and just kind of threw them all together. So let me show you how to make this beautiful French country inspired wreath for summer.
So I am using this faux boxwood wreath I found at Michael's. I like it because the back has this willow wreath, this grapevine wreath in the back. You could just use a regular grapevine wreath for this, but I just like the addition of the extra greenery of this boxwood. So first of all, I'm using these giant peony flowers, or these giant cabbage roses. I actually made these with fabric, and I have a video tutorial on how to make them. I will leave that in the description box below. Alternatively, you could just buy some really large peony flowers. I like the blush pink, so I like to go from kind of the largest flowers to the smallest when I'm working on a wreath like this. It just kind of helps me make sure everything is really nice and balanced. So what I'm just doing here is I have wire stems on everything. So just make sure that all of the faux foliage and flowers you're picking do have wire stems on them. And I'm just pressing that right into the grapevine part of this wreath. So that's why it's important to have either a grapevine wreath or a boxwood wreath like this with a grapevine backing, because you're going to use that to hold your flowers in. I'm not using a glue gun, I'm not using floral wire at this point. I'm just pushing the wire stems of my flowers really deeply into the grapevine wreath. I did this similar thing for my spring wreath, and I'll leave a link to that in the description box below, where I just squished some tulip stems, some faux tulip stems into this same boxwood wreath. And everything held really well in our windy spring, so it really works. And this is a great way to make something that you maybe don't want to keep forever, and it's actually very, very budget friendly too, because if you just invest in one or two of these high quality faux boxwood wreaths, you can just continue redecorating them and reusing them season after season. So moving on to the next largest flower. I really love these kind of dusty turquoise hydrangeas. I found these at Michael's 4 years ago, and I use them all the time in my decor. So I'm placing one of each of these in between the peonies. So the peonies are kind of evenly spread around the wreath, and then the hydrangeas are in between. I've always loved the combination of pink and blue, and I really, really love it for the spring and summer months especially. And again, I'm just taking the stems of the faux hydrangeas and just burying them really deeply into the grapevine part of my wreath. So all of this faux greenery and faux flowers I did have on hand. I just grabbed really all of my stash. So, I mean, lots of combinations could work, but I would definitely recommend at least 2 large different types of flowers, like this peony and hydrangea combo in 2 different colors, and then just whatever random greenery you like the look of. So now this looks to me a little formal and not quite as wild and free as I want it to look. So now I'm going to add a variety of different faux greenery just to kind of give it a little bit more texture and make it look a little bit more wild and not so formal. So these are some seeded eucalyptus. I found these at afloral.com a couple of years ago, and I'm just going to put them randomly kind of on the inside and the outside of my wreath. Again, all I'm doing is just sticking the stems into the grapevine wreath. And one of the keys to making a wreath that looks put together is just to make sure everything is really tucked down and close and next to each other. You don't want flowers sticking up far above the greenery. You don't want greenery sticking far beyond the flowers. So everything is kind of smushed together. It's going to give your wreath that really full romantic look. So next I have this lamb's ear. I got this at Michael's as well a couple years ago, and this is going to also add some more texture and a little bit more of that wild and romantic kind of countryside look that I'm going for. I also really like the color of this lamb's ear because it's more of that warm sagey green, which sort of matches the hydrangea color that I have in here too. So definitely just mixing colors and textures is what's going to make your wreaths look interesting too. So as you can see, this lamb's ear, some of these stems are quite long and they're sticking a little bit too far out of the wreath form. So later on, I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix that problem. I am placing this lamb's ear around the perimeter of my wreath so that it gives it more of a free form shape and it's not so round looking in the end. And next I'm going to use some ferns. I've been really loving using ferns in different sorts of arrangements this spring, and I'm just going to place these randomly throughout my wreath as well. I just like how they add even more texture, and this green is a little brighter than the other greens I've been using. So again, we're just using tons of colors and textures in this wreath to make it look really full and romantic. Next, I'm going to use some faux lavender because I don't think you can have anything really that French country looking without some lavender stems. So again, I'm just placing them inside my grapevine wreath just randomly along the wreath. I also like how they are tall and spiky, where I have the other flowers are really soft and round, so it just adds yet another contrasting texture and shape to my wreath. The fun thing about making a wreath like this is that it's so easy to change it up if you don't like the way that it's turning out. Simply pull out a stem and put another one in its place, and it's just kind of a fun way to work, and you can just kind of build on it or take away and just enjoy the process. So I'm satisfied with how this looks so far, and I just want to fix those lamb's ears that are sticking out. So I just got some floral wire. I just cut it into about a 9-inch length, and I'm just wrapping it around about halfway up the stem of the lamb's ear and then around my wreath form. So this is going to kind of tuck that lamb's ear stem into my wreath a little bit better. And so I'm doing this with all of the stems that I think are sticking out a little bit too far beyond my wreath form to make everything look like it belongs together. And I'm just twisting the ends of the floral wire to secure them. And that is how to make a French country inspired floral wreath that is really full and romantic looking. I really love how this turned out. I think it's going to look great right now in the spring, and I'm going to leave it up for the summer as well. I think it's so fresh and full, and it really goes along with my French country themed decor.
Thank you so much for watching my tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this wreath. I love it. I love anything over the top, romantic, country inspired, and I know a lot of you like that style too. Again, make sure to hop on over to Hilary's channel, subscribe to her beautiful channel, and check out her flower themed video today. I'll see you guys all again in my next video. Bye.